Hi, this is Diana Cates Dunn, and I'm here in the studio of Mary-Linn Benning, the fabulous artist of paintings like those. Animals and people. And guess who's here?
Hola.
Hola, hola, hola. Ah, sweetheart. It is so good to be in your studio. Tell me why you paint.
Because I can't not. I said that years ago. I know that it's incorrect, but I can't not paint. It's calming. I adore animals and children, and that's probably where all this comes from.
Did you have a family? Don't you feel silly?
Yeah,
I
really
do feel silly. Yeah,
Not my thing.
Yeah. Did you have a family that supported you?
I did. Well, I don't know if they supported me. I kind of did it on my own. I left home when I was really young, and so I didn't have that same thing, but I always loved to draw. I loved drawing. It made me go away. It made me feel connected to the world. And then my grandma loved art, so she wasn't as much an artist as she was a collector, and her house was just full of fun. And so I think that was a big...
You mean fun art? Or...
Fun art, fun... Well, I mean, she was amazing. She collected all the big names that are now. But at the time, she always said she never spent more than $300 on a painting, meaning, like she had Calder and she had, every artist you could ever imagine.
But we have to remember this was quite some time ago.
It was.
So 300 was,
it was
a chunk of change.
True. But she did it for the love of it. She bought what she loved, not what she thought was going to become famous. She just had an amazing eye. So, and I think just being around her, she started an art institute in Michigan and she started one in Maine. And so I just always saw. And
what was your grandmother's name?
Mary Bishop.
Oh, okay. All right.
She was really, very proud of the accomplishment. I wasn't particularly close to her. She was very English as a child, but I look back now and she was a pretty remarkable woman. The things that she did. Like I said, she started Haystack Mountain School for the Arts, which has become really a big success, which would not make her happy because she wanted people to do it because she used to say something like, I want everyone to have a crack at the crafts. And it's a craft school, and she loved that people could come and learn the crafts. And now it's been, become portfolio kind of school and stuff. And so I don't know that she would like that part. And she started an art institute in Michigan, that is in Flint, Michigan, which is where she was from. That is becoming.
Did you get to attend these?
Didn't know.
No. So that wasn't.
No, I went away to school when I was really young, and I was much more into sports and that kind of thing.
Was it art school you went away to?
No, I didn't go to school. When I got married really, really young and had my kids really young, and when I was 40, I think 38 maybe, I went back to school, and I graduated 2 weeks after my daughter graduated from college. So she thought that was good.
So this is when you got your art degree.
That's when I got my art degree.
Oh,
but
okay.
I got a full degree then. It was as if I was going to college. I got, a complete degree, not just art.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't just a film. All right, got it.
No, I really wanted to do that. Ego was in there somewhere. I always told myself I was going to go back to school. But that's when, I finished there and I just started traveling all over, observing animals. Was lucky enough to go to Africa, lucky enough to go spend a month with polar bears. It was just a dream. I got to live my dream, I guess, but I was older too when I started.
So how did you present your art when it came to going professional? Did you?
A fluke. And that most of the people that I talk to that are artists kind of got in the same way. It's not always when you're beating the bushes and trying to find a gallery that'll whatever. I was living in Sonoma, California, a little teeny town, and I had a very famous artist painting, small one, and and there was a gallery that was selling her work in San Francisco, and they wanted to come up and get the piece, and they came up and they loved my work, And that was the beginning of just an amazing career.
Oh, so that gallery,
that's how I started.
they started
she
carrying.
said, I want everything you can paint, which was great for a while, and I did really well financially, but emotionally, after 20 years of it, it really, I was in my 40s and 50s then. Now I'm approaching 80, and it's like, that part of it just is not what I'm after anymore.
No one's going to believe you're nearly 80 years old. But then
believe it. Watch me walk like a duck. But I love being, I'm really grateful. I have no fear of getting older. I don't like what it's done to my hands and to different things, but I'm just grateful. I'm just really grateful for my life right now. And I've got 2 great kids and 4 great grandkids. Great. They're my grandkids. They're not my great grandkids yet, but hope to be around for that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, I want to show behind you. I think this is your latest piece.
It is my latest and
your latest and greatest, Little Lambs. What did you title it?
I did at one point, but I don't know now exactly. It was fun. I don't know where sheep came from. I used to paint sheep years ago all the time, especially in California, and I haven't painted a sheep in I don't know how long, so who knows. It's kind of lucky people can't get in the mind of an artist sometimes.
Now, what makes you say that? What makes you say, why shouldn't?
Because I have a lot of artist friends, and we all have a spinning wheel in there that's like a gerbil sometimes, telling us things that aren't true and whatever. So I love our group for that reason, is that we are all so different, and yet because of our differences, we really help each other, which I love.
Do you think, is there competition in the group?
No, I don't think so. I don't get that there's any competition in the group. I get that it's all just encouragement and a lot of laughter. Laughter's everything. If you're lucky enough to get as old as I am, the one thing I know is if you stop laughing, you're dead in the water.
Dead in the water.
Dead in the water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, being you're only 80 and you have a good 40 years ahead of you, according to according to the latest statistics, we're all going to live to be 120.
Yeah, they better.
Are we looking? Are we pointing out the the mules?
Yes, one of my favorites.
You picked that up when I. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Are you inferring that I am a?
No.
But if we don't know. You don't know how long. We are you are aware of Eric Bransby, who paints. He and his wife Mary-Linn were very well known painters, sculptors here. Eric just passed away this past year at 102.
Isn't that amazing?
102, and he held his Saturday drawing sessions at his studios where other artists would come in and they would do live drawing. So how do you see yourself in the coming years when I think you and I are of an age where we said, oh my gosh, if I live to be 75, I'll be old. And now here we are going well beyond that.
I hope to be doing what I'm doing. I love my home. I love my pets. I love my I've made my life much smaller. And I love that. I love that it's very peaceful. And I hope to be painting forever. Unfortunately, I have rheumatoid arthritis, which is kind of flaring itself right now. So I need so I would love to live for 20 more years. I hope to be painting for 20 more years. So if not, I'll learn to paint with my toes.
Well, that has been
works.
done. That has been done. There's artists who paint with their mouths,
Right.
I'm waiting to see one who can wiggle their ear and get it done. What is it that makes us want to do that? You especially, that you have to create. What is that? Do you have?
Well, I know I'm overly sensitive to the world and whatever. I'm like with what's going on right now in the world. I get overly, I care about everybody. I want to, and this helps me kind of soothe that part of me because I'm powerless over that. I can't help what's going on in the world. So it's very soothing to me, and I like painting things that are happy or maybe solemn but not sad. And I don't know, the world needs some joy right now. It really does. But I just hope to be able to keep painting or have friends that, you know, if I can, that's okay too, but I don't think it won't be a part of my life ever.
Yeah, so you'll,
you know, just because I can't paint.
You'll just follow your grandmother's role and start.
I think I'll never. I'm not a collector type. I love other people's work. I just enjoy
the creative mindset.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, I still.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, it is.
You asked the other day, like, when did it start? When did you whatever? And we were talking about that essence. Like, what point in our life did it become something you had to do? Because I know a lot of artists, including my grandmother, that aren't good artists necessarily, but they had that need to become, I mean, that was just who they were. So we must come in with it. Don't you think?
I know. Yeah, I'm one of those who fell from the womb, you know.
Yeah, I didn't know it then, but there was a lot of tragedy in my childhood, so I don't know what I knew then, really. But because of the people that came in my life, I was able to do that.
Well, I think I asked you the other day too, and maybe it's mulled around in your head a bit about, you know, we're all taught in the business world or the other world that we have to cross into from our creative side. We're always prepped to do an elevator speech, you know, 30 seconds of when somebody says, what do you do? What do you do, Mary-Linn Benning?
Well, my worst question is, what do you paint? Meaning, like, what's my subject? Well, how do you say that? I can say animals, but I can paint a perfect deer if I want to, but that's not how I paint. So how do you describe that?
Yeah, how do you?
Yeah, I don't. You just have to see it. That's my best thing. Is, you know, it's very difficult for me to say.
What can you tell me some adjectives that you or other people have applied to your paintings?
Whimsical for one.
Whimsical.
You know, there's always whimsy of some sort, and love of animals. My eyes. People talk about the eyes in my paintings all the time. I don't know that. I don't set out to do that. It's just, that's to me. I've been so lucky to spend months at a time observing animals with nothing else coming into me and photographing them. I don't paint from photographs. I retain it. It's like once
and yet you are a phenomenal photographer.
I love that would be if I get to where I can't paint. I'm kind of going through a time where it's a little scary, but I think we'll be able to fix it. I think photography would come back. I love photography, and I prefer to paint. What I really love, number one, actually I started with sculpture, and I love doing animals. And I did a bunch of bird baths with animals carved in them and stuff, and I love that. But right now my hands can't do that.
So did you study that in college? No. That you just picked up after?
My grandmother did clay. I never watched. My grandmother wasn't the type that, I'm the kind of grandmother that my kids walk in my house, they don't even say, hi grandma, they just come to my studio. My grandma wasn't like that. She was very English. I never saw her doing art. I never, you know what I mean? It was so, I didn't, I don't know where clay came in. I tried to remember, and I can't really remember. I bought some clay, and
that was it, huh?
That was it. There's something about clay.
The next week you had a kiln. The next week you had the throw wheel came in.
I am sorry that I when I first moved here, I gave my kiln to Cottonwood because I didn't think I was going to do clay anymore because I was so into painting. And right now, I kind of have this terrible urge, but I thought, well, you can't lift stuff and stuff anyway, so why don't you just maybe Bemis or somebody. You know, you could go to
now who is Cottonwood and Bemis? People don't know who those are.
Oh, I'm sorry. Those are people here in town. They have, like, with the Fine Arts Center, there's a wonderful art school called Bemis, which is wonderful because it gives everybody in the community a chance to learn about art. And the same with Cottonwood. They moved their buildings And to be honest, I've kind of lost touch over there a little bit, but they're doing really good things. And they do classes, and it's a great town. You know, people, if you want to learn, I didn't mean people, if you want to learn, but if people want to learn, if people want to learn art, there are all kinds of classes and exciting things in town. Hopefully, if we ever get out of our houses again to go to classes. But I saw that Bemis is doing virtual. And I'm assuming Cottonwood is too, where you take the class, you just don't go in.
Right. So people are finding ways around.
Yeah, it's not the same as, there's just nothing like hands-on with clay. But.
Well, yeah, but there's nothing like hands-on with a paintbrush either.
No, but you can't explain that. My favorite thing is, I like to teach, and my favorite thing is when somebody comes and said, I can't, I know nothing about color, or I can't draw a stick figure or whatever. I just love proving them wrong. Yeah. That is the best feeling, is to be able to, and that's what I would probably do if I can't paint for a long time, is I love to teach. I really do love to teach. And it would be fun. They would,
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's take a break here for a second, because